Hey guys, so I've been chopping my yellow squash to make some squash relish, and I wasn't sure if you guys had ever even heard of this or tasted it, but it's really good, and it's great in literally any time you would use a green relish, like a pickle relish. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I believe that this little container holds right at 5, it seems like, but I want to just kind of gauge it with measuring it out and make sure. So that's good to know because the recipe calls for 5 cups. So we are spot on. So now I'm going to gather the other ingredients real quick. We also need 2 cups of diced onions. I typically, when onions are on sale, will buy them and buy several bags and then use this, dice them up and freeze them. It's perfect for when you're cooking and you need diced onions. So these that are left over will just go into a freezer bag. You can use this with the bell peppers, but sometimes it mangles them pretty bad. So I'm just gonna slice and dice these. We needed red and green. We only need a half. The red one is kind of small, so. We are having a 95-degree day with a real feel of over 100. And I just heard it thunder, so I'm hoping we're going to get a little pop-up shower for the garden. It's so much better than the chlorinated city water when I water it. And now, just in case you've never used this for bell peppers, the way I found it worked best is to put the meat side down. Let me cut it in half. Otherwise, the skin here, when you put that on the side down, it just sort of sticks. This gets stuck down in the meat and sometimes will really mangle it. And then here you just have grooves where it's just not cutting through. So I found if I do it this way, you push that skin all the way. Still a little too big. Maybe. See, there's nothing stuck up here in the grid. And it dices them quite nicely. So I'm going to add this. So this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to pull out the spices. Okay, so I am going to grab the vinegar. And we're going to need 1¼ cup. And now we're going to need 2 3/4 cups of sugar. 1, 2, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. Now we need a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. 1/2 teaspoon dry mustard. 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we need, excuse me, then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And 1/4 teaspoon, no, a full teaspoon of celery seeds. So I'm going to use my 1/2 teaspoon measuring that I already have over here and just put 2 in. Okay, so we're going to take this to the stove and we are going to heat it until the sugar has completely dissolved and everything is mixed in nicely. So I'll meet you at the stove. Okay, so I've got the canner getting hot and I'm going to wait on turning on the burner for the spices, sugar, and vinegar until I know that the canner is going to be ready for us. But I do have my jars just out of the water. The lids and rings are off to the side. And we are just waiting now. So I'll bring you back once we're ready to go. Okay, so what we need now is all of this to come to a boil, and then we'll be ready to transfer to our jars. And the canner is ready. Okay, so I've turned off the heat. It's been boiling for a few minutes, and I'm ready to start filling my jars. dampened my paper towel. Just want to clean off. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up, but there was a little bit of squash on there. So we always want to make sure there's nothing on the top of the rim that can affect its sealing. Now if you have larger jars, then you would want to take the end of a fork, or if you have a canning tool, you know, to put down in there and get air pockets. These are so small, I'm fine with them. Okay. So this recipe made 3, 6, 9 half-pint jars. I usually am using leftover jars at the end, so I wasn't exactly sure. Okay, and now we just want to put these on finger tight. Okay, now we're ready to put them down in the canner. Looks like I have one that won't fit. So I may use this one in the refrigerator now, and it won't have to be processed. So let me grab some oven mitts, because that steam is hot. Get the lid on, and this particular canner has a thermometer at the top that you'll be watching. You're gonna, let me adjust the camera so you can see it. Okay, so that thermometer needs to come up into the green. Once it's there, it processes 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so you can see we're in the green. I now have the timer set for 15 minutes. Okay, our timer went off. I'm going to start pulling out the jars. And I've got them on this rack to cool. As these start to cool, we'll start to hear them pop. That's where it's going to be pulling the seal down. And you know it was a successful process. Okay, so they are all out. I've got all my burners off. And that is how to make a squash relish.